becomes her shield. Her truth is bleeding. Marie Santiago is a brave rider, fearless truth speaker, setting hearts on fire.
Explosive push to oust DHS Chief Kristi Noem after fatal ICE shooting chaos. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the stories that matter most, the ones shaking up our government and affecting real lives across America. Today, we're talking about a major showdown in Washington that's got everyone buzzing. It's about Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, the woman in charge of everything from border security to immigration enforcement. A group of determined Democrats in Congress, led by Representative Robin Kelly from Illinois, is pushing hard to impeach her and kick her out of office. This isn't just some political game, it's a response to serious problems, including a heartbreaking shooting that left a woman dead and communities in uproar. I'll break it all down for you step by step, so you can see exactly what's going on and why it's such a big deal. Let's get into it. First off, let's set the stage. Kristi Noem, the former governor of South Dakota, was picked by President Trump to run the Department of Homeland Security back in early 2025. Right from the start, her approach has been super aggressive when it comes to immigration. She sent out teams of agents from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that's ICE, and Customs and Border Protection to cities all over the country. We're talking places like Chicago, Los Angeles, and Minneapolis. The goal: to round up people who are here without proper papers, deport them quickly, and crack down hard on what the administration calls threats to our borders. But critics say this has turned into a nightmare, with agents acting like they're above the law, causing fear and chaos in neighborhoods where families just want to live in peace. Now imagine this. You're going about your day, maybe picking up your kids or heading to work, and suddenly ICE shows up, blocking streets, pulling people over without clear reasons, and creating total disorder. That's what folks in these cities have been dealing with. Reports from the ground show agents setting up roadblocks, stopping cars at random, and even detaining American citizens by mistake. It's not just about immigrants, it's hitting everyone. People are scared to drive. Businesses are shutting down early and communities are on edge. And here's the kicker. Noem has been accused of blocking Congress from checking up on these operations. Lawmakers like Robin Kelly have tried to visit ICE facilities to see what's really happening inside, but they've been turned away. Why? Some say it's to hide the truth about how detainees are being treated, stories of overcrowding, poor conditions, and even abuse that echo the worst parts of our past immigration scandals. Let me explain why this oversight matters so much. Congress, the people we elect to represent us, has the job of making sure government agencies aren't wasting money or breaking rules. They approve the budgets, and they have the right to investigate when things go wrong. But under Noem, DHS has reportedly held back funds that Congress set aside for things like humanitarian aid or proper training for agents. Instead, those resources are being funneled into these massive enforcement sweeps. It's like giving someone a budget for school supplies, but watching them spend it all on fireworks, dangerous, and not what was intended. This kind of stonewalling isn't just frustrating, it's against the rules of how our government is supposed to work. It undermines the checks and balances that keep power in check. Things really boiled over last week in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's where the tragic shooting happened that pushed everything to the breaking point. A 37-year-old woman named Renee Nicole Good was killed by an ICE agent during one of these operations. From what we know, ICE was out in force, setting up checkpoints and stopping vehicles. Renee was driving through the area. Mind you, she was an American citizen, not even the target of any immigration action. Reports say there was some kind of confrontation. Maybe she questioned why she was being stopped, or perhaps there was a mix-up. The agent fired his weapon, and Renee didn't make it. Her family and friends are devastated, describing her as a loving mom, a hard worker, and someone who always stood up for what's right. Protests erupted across the country after that, with people chanting for justice and demanding answers. Secretary Noem's response: she called the incident an act of domestic terrorism on Renee's part and defended the agents, saying they were just doing their job to enforce the law. But hold on, that doesn't add up for a lot of people. Witnesses and early investigations suggest the shooting might have been avoidable, maybe even unlawful. Minnesota's governor called for a full probe, and community leaders are asking why ICE is acting like a military force in everyday neighborhoods. This isn't the first time ICE has been in the spotlight for overreach under Noem's watch. In Chicago, for example, similar operations led to complaints of racial profiling and unnecessary force. Families have been torn apart, with parents deported while their U.S.-born kids are left behind. And in detention centers, detainees report being held in conditions that are downright inhumane, limited access to medical care, no legal help, and sometimes even denial of basic rights like phone calls to family. Enter Representative Robin Kelly. She's a Democrat from Illinois, representing a district that includes parts of Chicago where these ICE raids have hit hard. Kelly has been vocal about the problems from day one. She's written letters, held hearings, and demanded transparency, but got stonewalled every time. After the Minneapolis shooting, she said enough is enough. On January 7, 2026, she announced her plan to impeach Noem, and by January 14, she officially introduced 3 articles of impeachment in the House. Let's break those down one by one so you can understand exactly what they're accusing her of. The first article is obstruction of Congress. This one's straightforward. Noem has repeatedly blocked lawmakers from doing their oversight job. Kelly says she's denied access to ICE facilities, withheld documents about how funds are being used, and ignored requests for information. Picture this, like a boss hiding the company's books from auditors because they know something shady is going on. Congress can't fix problems if they can't see them, and this obstruction puts lives at risk by letting bad practices continue unchecked. Second, violation of public trust. This charge gets to the heart of how Noem's policies are endangering people. Kelly accuses her of compromising public safety, violating the due process rights of citizens, and directing actions that are straight-up unconstitutional. Think about the Minneapolis shooting, stopping people without probable cause, using deadly force in situations that didn't call for it. Or the detention camps where people are held without quick hearings or fair treatment. These aren't just mistakes, they're patterns that show a disregard for the basic rights we all expect in America. Noem's aggressive stance has created a reign of terror. As Kelly puts it, turning communities into war zones and eroding trust in government. The third article is self-dealing. This one's about abusing power for personal gain. Accusations here include steering federal dollars to friends or associates, maybe companies tied to her allies or even her own interests. In a time when taxpayer money should go to real security needs, like better border tech or community programs, Noem is allegedly using it to boost her political image or reward loyalists. It's like dipping into the cookie jar when no one's looking, but on a massive scale that affects millions. And get this, Kelly isn't alone. Over 70 House Democrats have signed on as co-sponsors, showing this isn't just one person's crusade. They've held press conferences, shared stories from affected families, and called out the Trump administration for enabling this chaos. On the House floor, Kelly declared, "Secretary Noem has violated the Constitution, and she is breaking the law to do so. I will hold her accountable." That's the kind of bold stand that's firing up people who are tired of seeing power abused. Of course, the other side is pushing back hard. DHS called the impeachment push silly and accused Kelly of playing politics instead of focusing on crime in her district. Noem herself has stayed mostly quiet, but her supporters in the GOP-controlled House and Senate say this is just Democrats trying to undermine Trump's agenda. They argue that tough immigration enforcement is what the country voted for, and that incidents like the shooting are rare tragedies in a necessary fight against illegal immigration. But critics point out the hypocrisy. Why go after everyday folks so harshly while ignoring calls to investigate ICE's own actions? And remember, this comes amid other scandals, like probes into Noem's past decisions as governor, including controversies over her handling of state funds and personal perks. Why does all this matter to you and me? Because it's bigger than one secretary or one shooting. It's about what kind of country we want to be. Do we want a government that respects the law, protects citizens, and treats people fairly no matter where they are from? Or one that lets agencies run wild, hiding behind national security while causing real harm? Impeachment might seem like a long shot with Republicans in control. They could block it in the House or Senate. But it's a way to create a record, to say out loud that this isn't okay. It forces a conversation, shines a light on the darkness, and maybe, just maybe, leads to change. History shows us that even failed impeachments can shift public opinion and hold leaders accountable in the court of the people. Look, we've seen this play out before in past administrations. Immigration crackdowns that promise safety but deliver division and pain. Under Noem, it's ramped up to a new level, with cities feeling like occupied territories and families living in fear. Renee Nicole Good's death isn't an isolated event. It's a symptom of a broken system that's prioritizing politics over people. Robin Kelly's impeachment effort is a call to action, a reminder that no one is above the law, not even a cabinet secretary handpicked by the president. As we wrap this up, think about the human cost. Renee was someone's daughter, someone's friend. Her story could be any of ours if we let this continue unchecked. We need leaders who build trust, not tear it down. Stay informed, speak up, and demand better because our democracy depends on it. If this message spoke to you, even just a little, stay connected with me by following. Your support truly matters more than you realize, and every moment you take to listen is deeply appreciated. Please leave a like on this video and share your thoughts in the comments after hearing the story. Follow and subscribe so you never miss what comes next. Your support keeps the space alive. It costs nothing, yet it means everything to me. Showing love through engagement helps me continue creating, speaking truth, and showing up consistently. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, for supporting, and for standing with me. Crowning Thoughts, True Speaker, Copyright 2025 by Santiago D.C. Maria, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution. I love you all. I appreciate every one of you, and I thank you for your time. Stay blessed.
Say